Send.
This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I am Jack Danger, along with Jay Gatling. Jay, how are you doing on this beautiful the day after Thanksgiving? It's Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're correct, and I'm good. Food coma has worn off, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. The reason we are doing this special episode, actually, well, there's multiple reasons, but I wanted to point out something that a lot of people may not know. Okay, so when the AutoPen Biden scandal first happened, Secret America was actually the first to report on this. Here is something right here. This is from Grok. Okay, and it says, did Secret America break the biggest scandal in American history? It says, yes, Secret America episode 40 was the first to publicly break the Biden AutoPen scandal, now widely called the biggest presidential scandal in American history, yada, yada, yada. So that is from Grok. Here's from Chat GPT. And it says Secret America broke it first. Earliest independently timestamped evidence so far, Secret America, March 8th, 2025 says, what can you legitimately claim in your episode? You can say we were the first podcast to publicly discuss Biden's voided pardons. And the reason I'm bringing this up, I want everybody to see what just happened. And I didn't even realize this. I didn't know about it until recently. So I want everybody to see this right here. So let's take a look. Check this out right here, okay? President Trump has fully nullified all AutoPen documents signed by Joe Biden. He said, I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden. I'm going to read this thing real quick. Any document signed by sleepy Joe Biden with the AutoPen, which was approximately 92% of them, is hereby terminated and of no further force or effect. The AutoPen is not allowed to be used if approval is not specifically given by the President of the United States. The radical left lunatics circling Biden around the beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office took the presidency away from him. I am hereby canceling all executive orders and anything else that was not directly signed by crooked Joe Biden because the people who operated the AutoPen did so illegally. Joe Biden was not involved in the AutoPen process, and if he says he was, he will be brought up on charges of perjury. Now, I find that to be incredible. I mean, we're talking all executive orders, but we're also talking the pardons. There go the pardons right there for the January 6th committee. There go the pardons for Anthony Fauci and everybody else. Now, obviously, this will be challenged in court, but as a president, he has the right to revoke executive orders. So the executive orders are revoked. Now, pardons, that's kind of up in the air. That's up to interpretation. That's going to be up to the Supreme Court's interpretation. But the executive orders are all gone. You can forget about those. They're out the window. So what do you think about this whole thing? I mean, you got Secret America being the reason pretty much for all this happening. You tell me what you think.
Well, I think that's incredible. Obviously, before I was here, but I mean, awesome job by you guys and yourself that, you did that, first of all. Second of all, I'm just surprised, Jack. I'm glad it's being done. Don't get me wrong. My first reaction is, why wasn't this already being done? You guys broke that story how long ago? Last March?
Man. Yeah, it was almost 8 months ago or so.
Right. So why is this happening now? I get it. President's ultra frustrated at this point. He's at the end of his rope with everything since we just had what we had on Wednesday with the murder of Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf, who's very seriously wounded. and he's at the end of it now. So, but again, I think it's amazing. I hope it happens. The executive orders, yes, those should be able to be overturned at the stroke of a pen, right? They should be.
Yeah.
The pardons, as you said, and that's going to be legally challenged as well, Jack, because everything President Trump does is legally challenged.
Of course.
And of course, they'll find some judge that hates his guts, and the first judge will definitely rule against him, and then we'll go on from there. I'm just predicting what's going to happen, right?
No, you're right.
We've watched this game before, right? But you're right about the pardons. As far as the pardons go, I think, yes, this has to go to the Supreme Court. We need an answer once and for all on this, because this cannot happen again. You can't have somebody like Joe Biden, who we know was not there mentally, not there, period, being able to sign. And he did thousands of these pardons. So this has to be decided. The fact that you guys broke that story, and now the president is looking to basically overturn Joe Biden's entire presidency, is incredible. So that's basically what's going on here.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. And never did I think that something like that would come of that. I mean, with the auto pen being out there, and we actually even compared signatures, and we found that it was actually Jill Biden. We have evidence that it was actually Jill Biden that signed the template for Joe Biden. So Joe Biden didn't even sign that signature that was used for the auto pen. That was actually Jill Biden. And, we actually have a side-by-side compared analysis in our episode 40, I believe it was. We have side-by-side compared analysis of Joe Biden's signature with the auto pen signature, then Jill Biden's signature with the auto pen signature. And it's quite obvious that Jill Biden, signed these documents, signed the template. So Joe Biden didn't even ever actually sign the template. So you cannot say that even if he authorized the auto pen, it's not his signature.
Well, we know Jill Biden was running cabinet meetings. Mm-hmm. We saw that on Joe Biden was happy to show us that on camera, basically letting Jill Biden run a cabinet meeting. So why would it surprise anybody if Jill Biden was in fact the signature on that template? Now that would be incredible once we find out that that's true, right? If we get that rock solid, that's incredible.
And I don't think anybody knows that. That might be something else that we're breaking now. I don't think anybody knows that.
Hey, look into it. Powers that be, have at it. Internet sleuths, have at it. Go ahead. We just gave you for lack of a better word, the template. Go do it. Find out. Jill Biden, was she the signature on the auto pen? Was that her handwriting? Which then tells me this. Did he actually even sign his son's pardon? Because President Trump always refers to that and says, oh, the only one that was legitimate was Hunter's pardon. Well, was it?
That's absolutely wonderful. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think anything could be considered, real it's just not, you don't even know what's legal and what's not at this point. I mean, everything he did, his entire presidency, like you said, was run by somebody else. So, I mean, I would consider every single action he ever took or, somebody else took for him. I think his entire presidency could be null and void. I mean, it's just absolutely insane what's going on in America. I never thought I would see America have the day where, that we had an actual, we've had presidencies before that were not run by the president. I believe, who was it that ran the president? Was it Eleanor Roosevelt ran the presidency? Someone ran the presidency while their husband had like some kind of stroke or something.
Well, that was FDR. He was in a wheelchair, right?
That's it. Yeah. She ran the presidency toward the end of his presidency. And that was, that's something. But then now this is an actual thing where he was put in so they could run his presidency the entire time. It's absolutely insane. And I just don't see how anything could be held up in court. Obviously, everything, like you said, he does is going to go to court. So, it's just absolutely insane. And that's, it's crazy, but you want to hear something else crazy? This is really funny and you're going to get a kick out of this. Okay. Guess what? Everybody that's listening to this, I want you to hear this. This is absolutely true. I promise you. Adolf Hitler has just won an election in a Southern African country.
What?
That's a true story. It's actually the 5th time he's won this election. Adolf Hitler just won his 5th election you know, and I'm going to show you Adolf Hitler right here. I want everybody to see exactly what's going on here. This man won the election. I mean, you're talking, you know, Adolf Hitler here. So check him out. This is Adolf Hitler right here. That's him. And he easily won the election, it says, for the 5th time in a Southern African country. That is Adolf Hitler. And he looks a lot like his namesake, as you can tell. And yeah, no, he was named after Adolf Hitler. So I just thought you might get a kick out of that.
Who would ever name? Did his parents hate him or what? How do you name your kid after Adolf Hitler?
I have no idea. And you know he's going to get picked on in school and stuff. And then how do you win an election named Adolf Hitler?
That is a great question, because I don't care how good your policies are. They could be the total opposite of Adolf Hitler. You're not voting for Adolf Hitler.
No, that's what I don't understand. How could that possibly? I mean, this man, I mean, it's a small African country, right? But it would have to be like 5 people there that are all his family for him to win that. I mean, that's shocking to me. I don't know. When I saw the headline, Adolf Hitler wins election in African country, I was like, wow, maybe he really didn't commit suicide in 1944. You know, maybe he's 110 years old and he's out there winning elections.
Listen, nothing would shock me at this point, but you're right. It might be a very, very small electorate, and they're all in on the goof. So yes, we're gonna
might have elected him just because of his name, because it would be funny to have that. Because you know your country is not getting any national headlines, but if you elect a man named Adolf Hitler, you're gonna get something. You know?
Do we know what country that is, Jack?
I have no idea.
Do we want to know?
No, I don't think I do. I have no idea what country it was, but that was just a hilarious headline. And the funniest part is he looks absolutely nothing like Adolf Hitler. I mean, Adolf Hitler was a white man with a square mustache. This dude is a black man, bald as can be, with a bald face. He's the exact opposite of Adolf Hitler.
I don't think Adolf Hitler would be a big fan of Adolf Hitler.
No. Adolf Hitler would definitely end up fighting Adolf Hitler.
Yeah,
I can promise you that much.
Yeah, they wouldn't like each other.
If I have to say, if it were up to me and I was betting, I would say Adolf Hitler would win that match.
Yes. If you want it, that is a safe bet. You don't need to be Biff in Back to the Future 2 with the betting book to actually know who's going to win that one. You know that Adolf Hitler will win that fight. Yes, that's a fact.
Has to.
Safe bet.
Yeah, he has to. That's just, oh man, that's just a good laugh. That's just something to give everybody a good laugh. That is
funny.
That's incredible. I mean,
okay.
Now back to the scary things here. Now, You know how the UK has been absolutely horrible recently, right?
Yeah.
And I mean terrible. The way they're arresting people, you know, for posting memes and stuff, you know. I mean, it's just insane shit, right? Well, get this, okay? They are now scrapping trial by jury. You will no longer be allowed a trial by jury in the United Kingdom. It will be judge only. Now it is judge, jury, and executioner. That is the judge now in the United Kingdom, and it's incredible.
That is incredible. We based our legal system, our justice system on the English system. A lot of it, most of it, I believe, Jack, comes from there. And this is a road I don't ever want to go down. I don't ever want. Listen, there are times where it's advantageous for people to be able to choose a judge trial. It does happen. Yeah. It does happen. You should have the choice. If you
want to, though, it's got to be your choice.
Correct. You should have the choice. You should not be subject to a judge. One of the crowning lines in our system is a jury of your peers, where you are to be judged by them, not just one person who, you know, it's hard enough. What is, Jack? We don't want one person that might have some kind of bias to decide your fate, right?
No, God,
we want to have those 12 people where, you know, they all have to be on the same page with guilty. It only takes one for you to, you know, not to be quote unquote innocent, but to be declared not guilty and to walk away. And that's the way we want it. And that's the way we have the greatest legal system with all its flaws and all the things we always, you know, want to complain about. And rightfully so, there are problems. But I can't say that there's any legal system in the world better than what we have here in the United States of America. And as I said, a lot of it was based on English law.
Yes,
And
it
now
was.
England is, I'm telling you, why do we still have normal relations with this country? I need this explained to me at this point.
I have no idea either. We should be putting sanctions on this country for doing what they're doing, because if they do such a thing, then it's going to spread. You know, that kind of thing spreads. Oh, they can do it. That's precedent. Now I can do it. Somebody took the first leap. Now I can leap. So this thing will spread. Okay. And that is part of the reason that Islam is being brought into all these countries. And this takes us to something else. Let's scrap the UK trial by jury, go into a judge for a minute, because there's really nothing else you can say. It's a crime against humanity is what that is, because now you have one person that is the judge, jury, and executioner. So let's forget about that. That's absolutely ridiculous. But the UK these days is known for ridiculous.
Yeah, just chalk it up. Just chalk it up to a new, a date that ends in Y in the United Kingdom right now.
Yes, and it's incredible. Yeah, it's just scary. It's scary is what it is. But let's go to the shooting of the 2 National Guardsmen, because there are a lot of secrets here that people do not know about what happened with this man. Okay, first of all, let me tell you that both National Guard members, both of them, were sworn in just 24 hours before they were shot.
Wow.
Both of them, 24 hours. They were sworn in. 24 hours later, they're dead.
Well, one's dead.
Yeah, one of them's dead, and the other one's in what, critical condition?
Yeah, he's not doing well, but let's hope he pulls through.
Hopefully, I hope he pulls through as well. But 24 hours after they were both sworn in, they were both shot in Washington, D.C. by a man who supposedly was screaming, Allah Akbar, which means, God is great. But it's really the war cry of the Intifada and the jihads, which means armed struggle against non-believers. For anybody that doesn't know what jihad means, it's armed struggle against non-believers. And I think that's what's happening here. He killed 2 National Guardsmen that had nothing to do with anything. I don't know what the hell that dude was thinking. You tell me.
Well, what he's thinking is somebody brought an interesting angle to this, and I want to start with this. My friend Walter.
Okay.
And what he said was this. A lot of these people, Jack, they came over and their family is still there. And a lot of them maybe were operators who were, this guy apparently had CIA affiliations, right? So what the angle is this, that people there are threatening the family and saying, if you don't do this, we're going to go after your family. Now, that's an angle to take. It's a way to look at it. Do I know that that's true? No, I don't. But
I
if
don't
that's
believe
true,
that for a second.
but I don't know that. We don't. But my point is this: if that is true, send him back to protect.
Opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
We'll send him back to protect his family. Number one. That's number one. Number two, why did you leave your family in the first place? Why you have this guy apparently has 5 kids. I think they're all here. I don't know. I don't know if this applied to this guy, but could it apply to other people that are here? Could they be threatened by people back in Afghanistan saying, hey, we still have family members of yours here. You do what we say you're going to do, that we tell you to do in the United States, or we're going to kill them. I don't know, Jack. I just think this is a person that hates America. That we brought him here. He wasn't vetted. None of these people were vetted. It was, know what the vetting was, Jack? Hey, do you promise to be a good boy?
Mm-hmm.
That's the vetting I think we did.
I have some very interesting, I have some very interesting information that you may not be aware of, and maybe a lot of people are not aware of. So this person, as you know, as you talked about, had CIA affiliations, but it was a lot more than that. This person has worked with multiple U.S. government agencies, including the CIA, and that's according to CIA Director John Ratcliffe. But there's even more interesting information about this, okay?
Yep.
One, he used to be on the Kandahar Strike Force, okay? He was on the Kandahar Strike Force, and he got a grade of A+ for, whatever missions he did in this Kandahar Strike Force. So that tells you right there what kind of knowledge he has, what kind of people that were actually probably controlling this man, or the connections that they had with this man, okay? It's actually rumored that it was CIA and Mossad were most of the things that he was involved in. But if you want to hear something that's very interesting, check this out. Okay, so this man's name what is it? It's Ramanula Lakanawal or whatever. It's something that I can't even pronounce.
Yeah,
But
you know
let
what?
me
Who cares what his name is?
Well,
he's a
I'm going to tell you why it's important. If you know,
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why his name is important.
Ugh.
Okay, so this man's name was on Google searches that spiked 6 days before the attack. This man's name. Now, who the hell is going to search this man's name on Google 6 days before the attack? Okay, and these came. Guess where these searches came from? All of these searches came from the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. I want you to see this right here. Check this out right here, okay? Can you see this?
Yep.
District of Columbia, past 7 days, November 19th to November 25th. Look at that right there, spiked up 50 some odd searches at 3 a.m., 56 searches for this man's name in Washington, D.C., 6 days before the attack. The day before the attack, look at these spiked searches for this man's name. Okay, first of all, you can't accidentally search for this man's name. You have to know the motherfucker.
No, it's not John Smith. It's not John Smith.
No, you have to know his name. And who the hell does 56 searches at 3 a.m.? Who the hell does over 100 searches the day before the man did the shooting? And this was in Washington, D.C. So let me tell you right here, this goes a lot further than any kind of threats back home. This is something serious.
Here's my question too then. How does that not raise some kind of a red flag somewhere?
It may now that the shooting happened, it may.
But before,
we'll see.
There's
no way to know beforehand.
But these people are, this is a person that came in from Afghanistan. Shouldn't all of them, this is my point, Jack, shouldn't we have something on all of these people where if something like that happens, something pops off, an alarm bell goes off, says, wait a minute, why is this guy's name all of a sudden trending on Google out of nowhere?
I'm glad you brought that up. And let me tell you why I am glad you brought that up. So, did you know that under the Biden administration, with Qatar facilitating the transfer, 72,000 Afghans from Afghanistan, none of them vetted, were resettled in 331 American cities in 49 states over 5 months. Thank you, Laura Loomer, for that research. That's actually really incredible research. But none of them, 72,000, none of them were vetted at all. And there was actually, if I could find the report, there was actually a report saying that, here we go. This is from America First Legal. This is documents that they got via a FOIA request. That's Freedom of Information Act. The Biden-Harris admin claimed that they were importing Afghans as refugees who helped the U.S. government, when in reality, officials admitted in these newly obtained documents from litigation that they did not know their identities and that some have allegedly committed heinous crimes. That is exactly from a report.
Listen, I've asked this question. We basically invaded our own country.
Mm-hmm.
We invaded our own country with people who want to kill us. That's what we did. 72,000 people not
and
vetted.
They did not know a single one of them.
How, I've asked this, Jack, how has Mayorkas, how has Harris, how has Biden not yet been brought up on treason? How, Jack, Article 4, Section 4 of the
Constitution. They all had the pardons up until now.
Jack,
now let's see where it goes.
These people, they violated their oath to the Constitution in Article 4, Section 4, and amongst other places, but that's the biggest one, that we invaded our own country. Mm-hmm. What you're supposed to do is prevent invasions. They invaded our country with people who want to kill us.
Well, that's why he's allowed to use the Insurrection Act now. He needs to use it. That's something I don't understand. Trump should be arresting the mayors and governors that are harboring fugitives. This is illegal. You cannot harbor a fugitive. It is a felony, a federal felony. Yet they are, sanctuary cities are illegal. They're not legal because it's harboring fugitives. But these people are saying we are going to harbor these fugitives anyway. Trump has got to send a message and arrest these people. He has not arrested any of these people. If you're not going to arrest these people, you damn sure ain't going to arrest the big dogs like Biden and Clinton and Pelosi. If you're not going to arrest governors and mayors, you damn sure ain't going to arrest the big dogs.
I've been saying for a while, when this whole Portland thing really started gaining steam, I said, Portland you have a police department that is obviously compromised at the not just at the top, Jack, top to bottom. You watch the activity going on in the streets of Portland with Antifa, and it's plainly obvious to anybody with common sense that those cops, and you know me, I'm back to blue through and through.
Oh yeah.
But those cops have been compromised by Antifa. They were literally working for them. The only thing I guess they're not drawing is a paycheck from Antifa, but they're literally side by side with them, doing their bidding or just doing nothing, which is doing their bidding, if you know what I mean. So I said then, President Trump has to invoke the Insurrection Act in Portland because he needs to take back control of that police department with the same way he did in Washington, D.C., where he had full authority to do it without the Insurrection Act. But that template that he used in Washington, D.C. could have been applied in Portland, where you take control of the police department, put somebody in there that wants to run it like an actual police department, and things will change. And I said, something's going to go very wrong. It's out of control. Something bad's going to happen. And what happened 2 days ago?
You're absolutely right. But I do have some news that might bring some joy to some people's faces. So Deborah, one of our biggest fans, says Trump will need to tell Pam to buck up or get replaced. So I have some news on that front.
Okay.
Apparently, and this is good. This is actually wonderful news. But let's see if I could find it here. Okay. Co-deputy director of the FBI, Andrew Bailey, is allegedly rumored to be moving up to replace Pam Bondi as Attorney General. And this comes from a very trusted source. So we will see what happens.
Oh, that will be huge. I've had enough. Listen, Jack, and I was one of the people who I hated Pam Bondi's messaging with the Jeffrey Epstein thing. I thought Pam Bondi's messaging put us in this position in the first place with this Epstein nonsense, number one. But I was giving her time. I said, okay, she's doing pretty decently in these Supreme Court cases. We're getting some wins. And listen, that's her office. She gets the credit, right? Yeah. But now I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I've had enough. And when we keep having to hear President Trump say, hey, Pam, can you look into that? Hey, Pam, can you, the whole thing with Comey, right? When he basically had to put a Chris Farley meme, and that was after, but remember he had to basically call Pam Bondi out, and then she had to do the rush job to put Halligan in, and now Halligan, because of that, was declared to be a unlawful prosecutor, and those cases right now are tossed. Hopefully we get them back, but they're tossed. That's on Pam Bondi. You didn't see that your office wasn't moving fast enough on that, Pam Bondi. You knew James Comey had a statute of limitations. You knew they were going to try to run out the clock, and the person in your office, I believe it was Eric Siebert, he wasn't making a move. No, we don't have enough evidence. We don't have enough evidence for an indictment. So what happens? President Trump finally has to call her out publicly, right? With that text that we know was meant for her, but was a mistake that it was put out public. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Right? He calls her out publicly. She rushes, gets Halligan in, and this is what happens. I've had enough. I'm done. If Bailey's going to replace her, please just do it. Get him in there. He's not going to get confirmed by the Senate, but get him there temporarily for as long as you can and do some damage.
Well, I mean, there's something that, people may not know, and it is not Pam Bondi who runs the DOJ. And people may not know this. It is actually Todd Blanche, and he is a Democrat.
Yes,
he is a deputy attorney general, and he's
number two.
And he runs the Department of Justice. He has run the Department of Justice now for quite a while, and it is he that is pushing these cases back. It is he that is holding back everything. Now, don't get me wrong. Pam Bondi has the authority to overrule him, but she's weak. Okay. And since she is weak, it is Todd Blanche who runs the Department of Justice. And yes, he is a Democrat.
He is a Democrat. He was he was President Trump's personal lawyer. That's great. Maybe as his personal lawyer, he's a great lawyer. I don't know. He seemed like he did a decent job with President. A lot of his arguments in those trials that were, rigged were good arguments. And of course, they were going to lose anyway because we know they were rigged by the judges. But at the same time, yes, he's a Democrat. Listen, Jack, President Trump was a Democrat for much of his entire adult life. So why is it surprising that he's tight with somebody like Todd Blanche? It's not surprising, but that's Jack. If Todd Blanche is running the Department of Justice, and here's another instance, how long did it take Todd Blanche to finally make a move to try to do something for Tina Peters in Colorado? It took him
Well,
forever.
well, the problem there is he can't do anything for Tina Peters in
He can
Colorado.
try to move her. He can try to move her out of that facility because
Well,
and he finally came up with a way to do it. But what took him so long?
I don't see how he could possibly do that. I mean, that's a state-run facility, and she was convicted of state crimes. You can't really, I mean, if they want to be dicks about it, the governor could stop anything that they try to do. And the governor is the only one that is allowed to pardon her.
No, I'm not even talking about pardoning.
I know you're talking about moving facilities.
Just move her, and he tried to do it now. But what took him so long to even try, Jack? That's my issue. If you could have tried 6 months ago, why didn't you?
Yeah, it's tough. I was actually talking to someone that is close to Tina Peters, and was trying to see if there was a way we could work out some kind of phone call episode from jail or something, and see if we can do that, because I would love to talk to her about these things. And she's not doing well because they treat her poorly. They treat her terribly. And the worst part is she was convicted of state crimes, so Trump cannot pardon her. That is a myth out there, that people say that Trump is not pardoning Tina Peters. He cannot pardon her. A president can only pardon somebody that is convicted of federal crimes. She was convicted of state crimes, so only the governor can pardon her. And yes, it's sad. He will not pardon her.
No, absolutely not. And yes, she's an older woman, and apparently her health is not great. Mm-hmm. And once again, if this was the other way around, we know this wouldn't be happening. We know this, right? Because you just said it. No, we're not doing anything to anybody. And even when we do, it seems to get screwed up when it comes to Comey and Letitia James. So now we have to run through that whole circus again to try to even get charges back on these people who are dead to rights on these charges. That's the issue. That's the egregious thing that Pam Bondi did here. You have them dead to rights, and you got people in your office slow walking it on purpose. And now we are where we are.
I mean, you're absolutely right. And it's terrible that she was even put in jail for exposing things. And it's the same thing. Why hasn't Trump pardoned Edward Snowden? That man exposed what was happening to Americans, the NSA spying on Americans. And now he has to be in asylum in Russia. He can't ever come back to the U.S. because Trump won't pardon him. Trump won't pardon Julian Assange. I mean, Trump, what the hell is going on here?
I have a theory on that. I want
to know your theory.
I think they're just such hot potatoes that I think he won't do stuff like that until after the midterms.
But he doesn't have to. I think. Well, yeah, I guess after the midterms, maybe.
You know what I mean?
But he doesn't have to worry about re-election,
No. I just think after the midterms, you might, and soon after the midterms. I don't think he wants to wait very long because he doesn't want that to bleed into the 2028. I think soon after the midterms, you might see a lot of things happen that are political hot potatoes that he wants to do, but he just knows wouldn't be politically expedient to do at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I think we might see some stuff after the midterms, regardless of how they turn out. And God forbid they turn out the wrong way.
Well, I really hope so. But again, there's more good news coming to Americans, okay? And that is that President Trump has announced that he is permanently pausing migration from all third world countries, okay? So this migration will be permanently paused. There will be no more people being allowed into the United States from third world countries, and this is permanent until we can at least get, I would say, 80% of the people out of here, And people give very, very low estimates. There are at least 30 million illegal aliens living in America today. Think about that. That is 10% of the population.
More.
Oh, no. It's not more than 30 million. Come on, let's be real.
It's more than 30.
Let's be real. Come on now.
It's more than 30. It's probably, Jack, I'm going to say it's between 50 and 75 million people.
There is no way.
Absolutely.
That they are like 20%, 15, 20% of the country.
I'm telling you, Jack, I've spoken to somebody who knows how this is done, whose family was involved in basically creating the system. And he says it's between 50 and 75 million.
He was smoking the pipe when he told you that.
No, I'm telling you, he's a reliable guy. I'm just telling you. Then, Jack, but let me ask you something. If that's true, would you be like, oh my God, I can't believe it? Or would you like, okay, I guess it's true? I mean,
it's obviously believable. I mean, when you look at the videos of people, I'm talking by the tens of thousands crossing over daily. And that's a daily occurrence, 30, 40, 50,000 people every day for 4 years. Obviously, it's believable.
On top of the last 5 decades.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
You already got who I mean, there's probably already 15 million in here at least.
Listen, they've been saying 25 million, I think, since like 2010 or something, Jack. So don't tell me it's still 25 million or 30 million. It is way more than that at this point. It just is. It's just 2 + 2 is 4. And forget about the Biden administration. Trump 1.0 was really the only one that kind of put a dent in it as far as slowing it down. This time he's technically paused anybody being paroled into the country. There's no catch and release zero, but there's still immigration coming into the country. Now, I would say pause all immigration.
Well, I thought that's what he said. He said he's pausing all migration from third world countries. Not just asylum and whatnot.
No, I mean all. I mean nobody from anywhere. That's what I mean.
I mean, the third world countries are the ones that are all below us. I mean, that's all. I mean, anybody else, if you got somebody coming from Somalia, somebody coming from Cuba, those are all third world countries. That basically pauses all of the negative migration.
I just say pause it all. Pause and listen, except for people you want to bring them on visas who are going to do jobs right now. And that's a whole nother discussion we could have. But you want to do that for now? Okay, fine. But I just think everything's got to be shut down for a period of time till we figure out who the hell is in this country. We have no idea who is in our country, as is evidenced on Wednesday when we have this person from Afghanistan gunning down in cold blood 2 members of our National Guard, ambushing them. One of them, thank God, is fighting for his life, and I pray he pulls through. But we lost a 20-year-old girl. Yeah. I mean, could you just imagine a 20-year-old girl who's there to serve our country, and she's doing it, and for no reason, none, unprovoked. It's sickening. And people, well, that happens with citizens, American citizens. But you're right. We have enough problems with American citizens who are lunatics. We don't need to bring in lunatics from the rest of the world.
No, we absolutely don't. And, it's funny, we are behind, America is ahead in a lot of things. And I think Trump is going to put us ahead in the immigration thing of other countries with permanently pausing these things and trying to get everybody out as much as he can. But something came across my desk that was incredible. And I want to share this with you. This is a secret that a lot of people do not know. Did you know, and this doesn't have anything to do with migration, it's just something I want to talk about because it's a secret that nobody knows, and that's what we do here on Secret America. So get this. Did you know that Russia's scientists right now have created, and this is a true story, they have created spy pigeons. This is a honest to God true story. Check this out. So they are fitted with brain implants and cameras that can be controlled like drones. These are live pigeons. You can look it up. Go search it right now. You can look it up. These are live pigeons with brain implants and cameras that can be controlled like drones, but they're still alive. They are live pigeons. And I thought that was you're talking technology that is far beyond America's capabilities right now. At least I think.
Well, maybe we know how to do it. We're just not putting chips in pigeons and cameras. Maybe we're not doing it. But now what all this tells me is every time I see a pigeon, I'm going to think it's a Russian spy.
Well, forget about pigeons. We're talking any animal now.
And listen, there's a lot of pigeons where I'm from.
Oh, of course, yeah. But now when if you see a stray cat, but think about the possibilities of this, okay? Oh, you're talking about, say there's a meeting going on, some kind of special meeting in the Situation Room, right? Say they've got some kind of beetle or something that they put that's in the room, or some kind of fucking spider that crawls into the room.
Jack, it gives a whole new meaning to fly on the wall.
Exactly. There can actually be a fly on the wall that you can actually be the fly on the wall now. And that is mind-boggling.
That is, I got to look that up when we get off the air.
If you are, look that up. I want you guys to search that. Seriously, if you are doing anything important, say the police start getting these things, right? I mean, you don't need informants anymore. You don't need to put people in danger to be informants anymore. You just send in a stray cat. You send in, whatever. That's mind-boggling, That was, wow.
Well, you listen, maybe one of those turkeys that the president pardoned the other day. Yeah,
I'm
right?
saying,
Hey.
well, see, that's the thing. It might sound funny and it sounds off the wall, but it's real. And the crazy thing is, they can do it to any animal.
And
Any
what's the
animal.
lifespan of these animals with these things? Does it shorten their lifespan? Does
That
it
I don't know. It's still in now. They've got it to where it's perfected to where they can use it. But I mean, the long-term ramifications on the animal, quite honestly, doesn't matter, and they don't know.
That's dope. That is crazy. But listen, it doesn't sound too out of like far-fetched. Listen, Elon Musk is talking about putting chips in us.
Mhm.
So if he
Well,
could do that,
and that, not only that, but Russia's scientists are willing to go a lot further than America's scientists
Yeah.
to get their technology and do what they need to do. And that's why I respect Vladimir Putin. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I respect Vladimir Putin because he's willing to put his boot on their neck. And sometimes that's what you got to do.
well, listen, I don't want to be, have our government putting chips in our brains against
not
our
humans,
will.
but animals. I mean, hell, you experiment on little mice anyway.
Well, that's true. Yeah, absolutely. But maybe like you said, we are a little bit more humane in this country. But at times when it comes down to it, listen, Jack, I'm going to say this: if Russia's doing that with pigeons, I'm going to venture to say that we're doing something similar somewhere. We just don't know about it.
I mean, I guess it's possible, but America is so weak, so wimpy these days, man.
Well, listen, did you did you think that COVID was ever possible for us to be manipulated like that and just not know that this stuff was going on with this gain of function and all this other garbage that was going on?
Well,
Most
let's
people didn't
not
know
say
about that.
us because not everybody was manipulated like that.
Oh no,
now,
no,
I will say
absolutely. I
the
wasn't
vast
either.
majority of Americans are gullible. A person is smart, but people are dumb, panicky idiots.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay?
and that's the whole point. And they manipulate groups. That's the point. Then they know how to do it. This isn't just willy-nilly. Let's see if we know. They know exactly the language, the techniques, everything of how to do it. And let me tell you, just getting to COVID, I think that worked out way better than they ever thought it would. It really worked.
I mean, they got the election, they got the presidency they wanted. They got to get rid of a lot of the old people that were dragging them. They thought dragging down their economy with the Social Security. Excuse me. They got a lot of shit that they wanted. I will agree. But at the same time, they also screwed up any chance for that in the near future.
I hope so.
I will say, let me tell you what's going to happen, though. If this happens again, they will make sure that the virus is much deadlier. But they will also make sure that they have an antivirus for it to give to people that they want to survive.
And what's going to be in that antivirus? I wonder.
Well, no. It's only going to be given to people that they want to survive, like a Bill Gates or a Joe Biden, whoever, to survive. Not regular people. No.
So it's not going to give the rest of the population who took it myocarditis or heart issues or turbo cancers that we've heard.
No, because it's not going to be for them.
Yeah, it'll be for the important people, Jack, the important people.
Exactly. It'll be for the elites.
Right.
Like the virus will probably kill 75% of people. They'll probably have the vaccine that'll, I mean, it's, it is what it is. If you read Dean Koon's book, it'll blow your freaking mind. Have you ever seen the Dean Koon? I got to pull this up. Talk for a second. I got to pull this up.
All right. Well, yeah, I would just say that, yes, the people who know better, who know how to run your life, who are doing it for the quote unquote greater good will be the ones given these antidotes or these vaccines for whatever they come up with next. Because if you don't think that something's going to be coming, I don't know when, maybe in the next 5 years, 10 years, I don't know. I hope it's for a very long time down the road. Maybe we get whistleblowers or somebody to stop it. I don't know. But if you don't think they're going to try again, I think you're crazy. They're going to try again because, as I said, it worked. It worked well. They were able to manipulate this population, the world population, pretty effectively. And those who spoke out against it, especially those in the areas of medicine, their lives were ruined. They basically ruined their careers. So, again,
let me show you something that you may not have seen, and maybe our listeners and viewers may not have seen. This is going to blow your mind. Okay, if you've seen any kind of secret, any kind of thing, conspiracy that has made you go, wow, this is gonna blow your freaking mind. So let's go ahead and show it to everybody. It is incredible.
Let's see it.
All right, so first we got right here. Okay, this is Dean Koontz' book right here. It's called The Eyes of Darkness. It was published in 1981. You hear me, Jay? 1981. Okay.
Long
Now
time
look
ago.
at this. Yeah, check this out. Here's a passage from the book. In around 2020, a severe pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, attacking the lungs and the bronchial tubes and resisting all known treatments. Almost more baffling than the illness itself will be the fact that it will suddenly vanish and as quickly as it arrived, attack again 10 years later and then disappear completely. He gave you the year, he gave you the illness, and let me tell you what else he's going to give you. Lai Chen, they call the stuff Wuhan 400 because it was developed at their rDNA labs outside the city of Wuhan. And it was the 400th viable strain of man-made microorganisms created at that research center. Now, if that doesn't blow your mind, nothing will. 1981, he said in 2020, a pneumonia-like illness will spread throughout the globe, created at the Wuhan labs in China.
That's insane. This is Nostradamus. He's making Nostradamus look like a dummy.
That is, I mean, it's mind-blowing.
That is crazy. Now, with that book, 1981,
The Eye of Darkness by Dean Koontz. You check that shit out. It is mind-boggling.
Wow.
He gave you the year. He gave you the illness. He even gave you where the hell it was made.
is he still alive?
That, I don't know. Probably not. I mean, hell, with him writing that shit, they probably popped his ass a long time ago.
Yeah, he probably passed away sometime around 2019.
Yeah, I'd say so. Could you imagine if he was still alive and this shit happened?
Actually, Jack, you have to look it up right now. When is he?
Holy
if
shit,
he's not,
he is alive.
he's alive.
Yeah, he's 80 years old.
Well, did anybody interview him?
Wow. No, we're going to try to interview him if we can. I am going to try to get a hold of Dean Koontz. We are going to try to interview him because I want to know what he was thinking or what kind of information he had when he wrote that book in 1981.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. See if we get him on the horn.
You think, I mean, you want to talk about crazy shit that will blow your mind.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
he said around 2020, a pneumonia-like illness that affects the lungs and the bronchial tubes will spread throughout the globe, coming from the Wuhan labs. I mean, what?
I want that guy. I want him. Well, first of all, if we do get him, I want him picking my lottery numbers.
I know, right? Hey, he's worth 200 million, so he must be picking the lottery numbers.
He's doing something right.
Hell yeah.
Maybe he's the one that has Biff's book from Back to the Future too.
He might actually, man, because that was, I mean, my goodness. When I first saw that, wow.
That is crazy. That is crazy. Did you hear about what's going on in Pennsylvania with the law Josh Shapiro just signed into law, this Crown Act?
No, the what now?
The Crown Act.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, what it is, Jack, is it protects people, their hairdos, basically.
Oh, yeah.
You can't be fired for your hairdo.
Let's be real. This is the black law.
Exactly right. And I'm watching the press conference. I did a video on this, and the press conference, the woman says, European standards. I said, just say white people. Because could you just say it?
Be real. I mean, let's just be real about it.
Just be real about it. I'd actually respect you. Just came out and said it. Right. And the fact is, Josh Shapiro, number one, there are federal laws already, Jack. This is a pander. This is it's a virtue signal is what this is. And the Democrats just can't help themselves. And my point is with Josh Shapiro, who's Jewish, as we know, and I believe wears a yarmulke for part of the day. He doesn't have to wear it all day, but he when he goes to worship, he does. I said, maybe you should come up with the Yarmulke Act, because if we're going to talk about something on your head, maybe you should bring that in, because it's because of that the Democrats didn't choose you to be the vice presidential nominee. So maybe you should bring up the Yarmulke Act to stop Democrats from discriminating against you because you're Jewish, Josh Shapiro.
I will say that this law will be struck down by either the appeals court or the Supreme Court because haircuts are not a protected class. They're just not.
It's absurd. Listen, I understand if you have dreadlocks, but you can still make that look professional if your job requires you to do so. If they tell you got to cut them a little and you don't want to, then hey, sorry,
Don't
not
work.
sorry. Find another job.
Exactly.
Jack, I had grooming standards that I had to live with for 25 and a half years. And guess what they would tell me? You don't like it, you can quit. That's the way it is. And we've gone so soft. And here it comes again. And I'll credit Insurrection Barbie with it. The suicidal empathy in this country has pervaded every walk of life, everything in our society, and it is killing us.
I mean, you're right. It's killing everything that was once American. And now we're turning a corner where that's not happening as much, but now we have to try to get everything back that was once American. You know? I mean, in order to do anything, we have to get it back. How are we going to do that?
And it's wasting time when we need other stuff done that, looking forward, we, like you just said, we have to reach back now to get common sense stuff implemented again that never should have stopped. It's incredible. And we have, again, a person that's a serious contender for the presidential nominee now for the Democrats doing this nonsense in Pennsylvania. Really? Don't you have other things to worry about in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro? Wasn't your house firebombed and you're worried about the hair? Because a couple of people might have had instances where they were quoted against or treated unfair. How about this? Leave that to the local government in that area to take care of. Again,
well, let me tell you about something that suicidal empathy is really hurting here, Jay. It is allowing our country to be taken over by Islam. We talked about this. They are now taking over Tampa, Florida. Have you seen this?
I heard something about that. Please elaborate on it.
Yes. Well, they are now taking over at Tampa, Florida, doing the same things that they were doing in Texas. And remember, how they make these cities where they're Muslim only, Islamist only, is they can't say it's Islam only because that's discrimination. But what they can do is say you have to pay this massive fee to buy this house in our community, and 90% of that massive fee goes towards the mosque. Towards the mosque. And who's going to do that? Who's going to pay this massive fee to live in a mostly Muslim community where the fee goes to the mosque?
Muslims.
Only Muslims. So they get around the law.
It's gaming the system. That's
gaming exactly the system. What they're doing.
All right. And this is what flipped President Trump out about Somalia with the Samoans in Minnesota who gamed the system on the Medicare or what was it? It was through Medicare and they basically
immigration, all that stuff.
No, and they ran the claims in that system.
The Medicare claims, yeah.
Right. From I think 4 million to 399 million in 7 years. And no alarm bells went off. I mean, are you kidding me? We had people, Jack, that were making millions of dollars a month on this. And that's why President Trump's saying, you all got to go, all of you.
But what worries me the most is the takeover of Islam in America. That is the number one threat to America at this point. And Fox's Kaylee McGee-White said something that was quite poignant, if you will. She said on the air, it's asinine that we can't have a conversation about how certain cultures are quite literally incompatible with ours. It should be okay to say that. But because of suicidal empathy, it is not okay to say that. Well, I'm telling you that I'm going to say it. I don't give a damn what anybody else says. Islam is not compatible with Western culture, Western values, and they should not be allowed to live in America if they cannot assimilate. Assimilation should be something that the immigration, the Customs, Border and Immigration, and even Department of Homeland Security checks on. Once every 6 months, you go to their house, surprise them, see if they got an American flag in their yard, see if they speak English, see if they got a job that isn't at some Muslim place, see if they, just see what the hell they're doing. I don't care if it's considered discrimination. Let's change the laws a little bit to actually save America. I'm sorry, Jay, but to save America, sometimes you got to do some shit that you may not like.
You don't have to say you're sorry to me at all, because I agree with you 100%. And
Yes.
at least, how about at least make them fake it for a while? I mean, we're not even asking them to fake it at this point. You could just do whatever you want. Oh, welcome. And like I said, just promise you're going to be a good boy now. What the hell is going on here?
You don't even have to speak English. You don't even have to. You can come from a terrorist city if you want to. Syria. Come straight from Syria.
It's incredible. And like I said, we invaded our own country. How stupid, and President Trump says it all the time. How stupid are we? We are a bunch of stupid people who are allowing this to happen. As you said, you're afraid of offending somebody. Listen, I've said it. I'm not going to be afraid of offending somebody by telling them the truth.
No, and those days are over. That's not our America anymore.
No, and listen, my friend Margot says it all the time. She says, the most Christian thing you could do is tell somebody the truth.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Christian thing to do. That's the right thing to do. And I'm not going to be offended by, I'm not going to be feel bad because somebody gets upset because I told them the truth. I'm not going to say it in a disrespectful way, but if a fact is a fact, I just want to give that to you. That's what we're trying to do on this program right now. And if what we're talking about offends somebody, well, I'm sorry, but I'm really not. That's for you to reconcile, because we're not here lying to you. We're giving you the truth. And if that bothers you, well, maybe you need to do a little self-examination. That's all. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I'm saying it honestly, and just, I hope you do. And that goes for everybody.
I completely agree. I don't think, I gotta say something real quick. I'm sorry. This is, oh my God, you gotta be shitting me, man. I absolutely am starting to hate X. I'm starting to hate it. And I'm starting to hate it, and it's pissing me off as we speak. I have to stop the Islamic talk because honestly, X is pissing me off more than the takeover of Islam this particular moment.
What?
So our particular show, when people are retweeting it now, it's not showing the video. It's just showing the fucking link again.
Listen, I don't even see I can't even see the broadcast. I sent you the screenshot. It kills
our views. It kills everything. It makes, oh my God. X, the algorithm. It's like they are actually trying to destroy the site. Where the hell is Elon Musk? What the hell happened to free speech? Where are you, Elon Musk? Right now, the algorithm is making people leave in droves. And we have nowhere else to go. It's X or nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Truth Social ain't ever going to be big enough. And quite honestly, I don't even have an account in Truth Social. But it's never going to be big enough like X. Okay. And it's just not, because only half the population would ever go to Truth Social. At least we have some leftists on X, makes it a little bigger, and more names, or it's just much bigger. But let me tell you, X right now, the algorithm is killing us. Not just the algorithm, killing our views, killing everything. You can't see anybody. But then the DMs were made at the same time the algorithm is killing you. The DMs were made to confuse you, made to where you can't see certain people. They were made to strangle, to throttle your voice, even in private. That's what's happening right now. And I was looking at our post. I see people reposting it. It says our name, and it has a freaking link. It is just so angering. I hate X. I hate it.
Listen, Jack, I can't even see our broadcast. I sent you my screenshot right at the beginning. I can't even see it. It says broadcast not available when I swipe on the page. So that's what I'm seeing. Let me refresh it and see if we got anything different. Nope, same thing.
Really,
and
it should be fine. I can see it on the page, but when people retweet it, you cannot see it.
I don't see it. I don't see it. And the other night, the DMs are a disaster. If you're gonna switch the DMs, can you make everybody be on the same thing? Because if you don't have people with encrypted now, or the chat or the messenger, it's confusing as hell. Nobody knows what they're doing with it, because if I hit encrypted, I can never go back. Just put everybody on the same thing if you're going to switch it. And Jack, I do spaces. The other night on Wednesday, X did an update. I hit the update. I'm running my space. I had to shut my space down 4 times. I finally had to give up hosting. I had to let somebody else host. And I have 6 devices in my house. The only one I could get into my own space with was an Android. And it was still wonky as hell. I didn't get the second update to correct it till overnight. So what is going, like you said, what is going on? And Elon left Doge to pay more attention to Tesla and pay more attention to X. It's a good question. What is going on X right now? Again, you can't be this bad by accident.
Let me ask you a simple question. And I asked this same question actually about the Democrats during the last 4 years of Biden's presidency. So I'm going to ask you this question. I'm just going to make it X instead of the United States. You tell me, if the CEO or whoever of X came out and said that their mission was to destroy X, right? Would they need to do anything different than they're doing now?
Not much. Not much.
And there's your answer. That's your answer.
No, it's frustrating. And like you said, the algorithm, everybody that's conservative is getting throttled. What's going on tonight, it happened to us with our first video where the link was the only thing that showed up. Our last video got throttled. Tonight, I can't even see our broadcast on the Secret America page. This is brutal.
Yeah, we have 1,000 people watching us live right now, which is great. Don't get me wrong. That's great.
Yeah.
But if we weren't being screwed, it would be 2,000-3,000. And, okay, let's be real. Usually the Secret America live episode post gets 120, 130,000 impressions and 20 or 30,000 downloads, right? This one that we did this past week got 19,000 downloads and 68,000, 70,000 impressions. I mean, we're getting half of what we used to have. It's oh man.
And that's with Mike Benz, a political icon with over 1 million followers on this platform. So those numbers are impossible to get unless you are being throttled. Literally impossible to get. Dude, you are being throttled.
I mean, we had Mike Benz, who is massive, okay? And thank you, Deborah. She said, it's okay, Jack. I will repost the hell out of this tonight and tomorrow. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate
everybody.
That. She's one of our super fans. But yes, if everybody would do that, that would be very helpful.
Follow Deborah's lead. Follow Deborah's example.
Exactly. But let me tell you, see, now you made me forget what I was going to say. Damn it.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do that.
Damn. It was something.
I'm sure you'll get me back at some point many times.
Man, what was it that I was going to say now? Damn. Oh, I know. Remember now. Good. See, I got it now. Now, Mike Benz is a huge political icon. And like you said, we had 19,000 downloads, 70,000 impressions. With Dinesh D'Souza, we have 66,000 downloads and 450,000 impressions. That is probably around what we would have had X not have been throttling the hell out of us.
Yeah.
So it's just massively disappointing.
Yeah, and it's
mostly because, Jay, it's not because we want the downloads and all this other stuff. It's because the more people that see this, the more people that know what's going on behind their backs.
Exactly. That's what we're doing here. That's why we're here, right? That's why we want to do this program. This is the
Believe
point.
it or not, we don't make any money off of this podcast. We have no ads. We don't do sponsors. We don't do networks. We don't make any money off of this podcast. So the downloads and stuff don't make us anything. We are doing this for you.
Yeah. And listen, if we ever do get those things, I have no problem letting anybody know. I'm transparent. I'm sure as you are too, Jack.
Oh, we'll be getting those things one day. You best believe. Yeah, we're gonna be up there with Joe Rogan. I promise.
That's exactly, and I have no doubt about that. But we're transparent. And I have no issue with that at all. But here's the one thing that me and Jack know: nobody's ever going to tell us what to say, no matter what they pay us. That's
I don't know. You could offer me. You're not going to offer me millions of dollars for my soul. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, not happening. So don't anybody that's watching us and has watched Jack since he started this, you never have to worry about that. That ain't happening.
And any sponsor that's watching this and thinking, hey, I might sponsor them to get them to say this, not going to happen. Now, I have no problem, doing, a sponsorship for, a company or this or that, but they're not going to tell me what to actually say on the air about, anything that's going on within Secret America.
Absolutely not. Not a chance. Not a chance.
So, well, the hour's up, but if you want to keep going, we can. I don't mind.
Yeah, I want to see if there's anything else that I had here that I really, really wanted to bring
Yeah.
up. Let me just look real quick.
Sure, I'm gonna look. You know,
Here, I got one.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I got one, and I want to talk about this. We
Yeah.
have a special election coming up in Tennessee's 7th district
Mm-hmm.
on December 2nd, I believe. We're talking what, about four days? Yeah, probably Tuesday. Yes, that would make sense. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's Tennessee 7, which covers part of Nashville and a lot of areas around Nashville that are very red. Parts of Nashville itself are blue as hell. We know that, but this is a district that President Trump in 2024 won by 22 points.
Mm-hmm.
This is a district that the House member who resigned, Mark Green, I believe his name is, won by 22 points in. That's funny. I think Monster
should sponsor. I
I
take
think
the
you're
drink
right.
with the Where's Monster at? Holler at me.
Yeah, let's go. But so Mark Green also won that district by 22 points in 2024. Now he's since resigned. And now that seat is open, which is why we have a special election coming up. The Republican who's running, his last name is Van Epps, and the Democrat who's running, her name, she's a state representative. Her name is Efton Ben. She is a horrid candidate. I mean, horrible. She's horrible on camera. She's a horrible speaker. She's a flat out liar, where even MSNBC the other night called her out with tweets from 2020 when she said defund the police, burn down police stations, things along those lines, and hammered her on it a little bit, actually. Pressed her a little bit. It was actually, for MSNBC, it was actually like an amazing job, right?
Yeah.
She says, I'm not here to talk about cable news talking points. That's her answer, and never answers the question, and goes right to the affordability thing, which is another thing that boggles my mind, how Republicans are losing that argument when affordability was ruined during Joe Biden, and Obamacare subsidies, which Obamacare, it's named after Obama. No Republican ever voted for it, and somehow Republicans.
Well, just so you know, Jay, you're frozen, and your internet's been doing that. Now I haven't said anything because it only freezes for like a second and then you come back. But this
yours
time
has been doing it too.
It's frozen. I think it's your internet that sees mine freezing because mine hasn't been. I mean, I think it's there might be something wrong with the connection. I'm not 100% sure. It doesn't really matter as long as it doesn't kick you out.
How am I now?
Oh, you're fine now. Yeah.
Okay. So my point is, with the messaging, how bad are Republicans on the messaging? She's an awful candidate, but the problem is, Jack, she's close. Like, she's within margins of error on some polls in this district. That is a horrible sign. If she doesn't win but comes close, that is a horrible sign. Where is the RNC? Where are you? What's going on? How is this even close? It's a problem, Jack. We got a problem.
Let me tell you why, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. There are two reasons that Democrats are going to probably win most of the elections up to the 2026 midterms and the 2026 midterms. One is affordability. The groceries are going up. They have not gone down. They have not gone down. He says they're going down because inflation is going down. Inflation does not drive prices down.
But we don't want to drive prices down necessarily. We don't want to deflate.
We do.
We don't want to deflate. We want to stabilize them and maybe drive. Eggs went way down. Okay. Things have gone way down.
I don't care about stabilization if we can go down. We need to go down. Everything went up in a price gouging type of way the last 4 years. Okay. These companies are making immense amounts of money, and they could afford for the prices to go down. If every price of all the groceries dropped by, say, 15-20%, they would still make an ass load of money on all of their things. But you see, the problem with this is when he says, oh, inflation is going down, that's great. But inflation is only the measurement of how fast prices rise. Okay. It doesn't mean prices are going down. And he seems to confuse that with prices going down. He said, oh, no, inflation's going down. The grocery prices have gone down. No, they haven't. But I'm just telling you the two reasons why they're going to win. One is affordability. And yes, you better believe it's affordability. And two is justice. We have talked about justice every single episode since I started this show. Justice is something we have not gotten. And obviously with Comey and James, we may never get, and who even cares about Comey and James? I'm talking real justice. I'm talking the big fish. Anthony Fauci is the number one. You arrest Anthony Fauci, you win the 2026 midterms.
Where's Rand Paul? Where's Rand Paul speaking up about Anthony Fauci? Wasn't he the one that said he's going to arrest Anthony Fauci? Why is Rand Paul going against everything? Can Rand Paul speak up about Anthony Fauci?
Well, what's that got to do with what I'm talking about, though?
But my point is, Rand Paul was the one that said, I'm going to make sure Anthony Fauci faces justice. Why is he not saying anything? Why isn't he? Jack, if you're right, but why isn't Rand Paul speaking up and saying anything about this?
I have no idea, but that's one man, and he's got his own problems. But I'm talking about us here as a whole. It is the DOJ's job, and now that Trump has voided the pardons by executive orders, the DOJ's job to go get the January 6th committee and Anthony Fauci. If they arrest the January 6th committee and Anthony Fauci, even if the charges don't stick, and they cannot let them turn themselves in a month later. No, you have to actually handcuff them and perp walk them. If you can do that, get the mugshot, even if it's a not guilty verdict or whatever, even if the charges are dismissed, we will win the 2026 midterms by a landslide, because justice is what 99% of Republicans voted for Donald Trump for. The last 4 years, conservatives were persecuted by Joe Biden, the FBI, the DOJ. It was sickening what they did to us. They even did false flag operations such as January 6th to put people in gulags, basically, with no due process, no constitutional rights. It was mind-boggling how this was allowed to happen in America. This is America. They weren't even allowed to be seen. They weren't allowed to show evidence from the videotapes from Capitol. So they were convicted without being allowed to show evidence. No discovery. That is mind-bogglingly illegal. And nothing was ever done about it. So justice, yeah, if we don't get it, I don't even care about affordability. If prices skyrocket to the roof, or if they go down to 1 penny for every grocery, you will still lose the 2026 midterms if you do not give us some justice.
Well, here's what I'll say real quick on the prices. If prices are stabilized and they're going up a little bit, as long as wages outpace that, we're okay. That's number one. So that's a good, right? We need wages to keep outpacing inflation. That we have that. We didn't have that during Biden. That was the huge problem. We had a lot of inflation and wages either stagnant or dropping pretty much.
Why don't we do deflation and lower the wages too? Why don't we go back to the 50s? What is it? Why do we have to keep going up? Eventually, people are going to, 1,000 years from now, people are going to be making $20 million a year. Bread is going to be $500,000 a loaf. It's going to be ridiculous, man.
Hold on. I'm not an economist, but I do know somebody that could explain that to both of us very well. And you know who she is, but we won't get into that right now.
But I'm saying if inflation continues for the next 1,000 years, imagine a loaf of bread is going to be like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. People's wages are going to be 10 grand an hour. It's just going to be. It sounds like a lot of money, but in 1,000 years, that won't be pennies.
No, it's all relative. It's relative.
Ridiculous.
And also remember, Jack, the bread will be lab grown by that point, and
man,
we'll probably be eating bugs anyway because Bill Gates will still be alive.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
But let me move on to your next thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when it comes to that,
justice,
I agree with you with justice. Okay,
that's the one and only issue that matters.
Now, I want to see late night, early morning raids.
Exactly.
I want to see television cameras, and I want these people dragged out in handcuffs, like you just said. I don't want the back door. Hey, go in the back door, or hey, just show up and walk in your best suit, and we'll arrange. No. They already screwed that up with Bolton, with Comey. They screwed it up with James. They should have been raided. They should have been dragged out, and they should have been slung into court with their mugshot. We need mugshots. President Trump got one. We need mugshots, and we need them now.
Yeah. And the problem, though, is people think that this is Trump's doing, that he's not arresting these people. He cannot arrest anybody unless it's by military tribunal. And let me be honest with you. If the DOJ doesn't arrest these people, he might have to arrest them by military tribunal, because I can tell you that they broke some military laws as well with the January 6th committee, and what he did. Crimes against humanity also were crimes against the military. So, I'm just saying that they can do that if he really needs to. He can do that. He can arrest them, hold them in Guantanamo Bay for military tribunals if he wants to. But I will tell you that he probably won't do that, but the DOJ has to do it. I'm telling you right now, if he does not instruct the DOJ to do it, if they do not do it, we will lose the 2026 midterms by a landslide, because after everything that has happened to us over the last 4 years, after all the persecution, we voted for him for justice, for revenge on the government. My mat outside of my garage says Trump Revenge Tour 2024. That is exactly why we voted for him. Let me tell you that right now. Revenge against the government and justice. If we don't get either of those things, I can promise you, Jay, right now, I can swear to God, we will lose the 2026 midterms by a landslide, and you will see Trump removed the very next day.
Well, impeached at the very least.
Oh, no, we're going to lose the Senate and the House.
Well, they still need 67 in the Senate to remove him. That's a
tall
order.
A landslide, man.
Well,
I'm
listen,
you.
you're telling me we're going to lose 20 seats in the Senate, then
without justice, I'm not voting at all.
I don't know. But listen, you want to talk about something real fresh when it comes to this, and you brought up military tribunals. What about what the Seditious Six did? What about Alyssa Slotkin? Okay, Alyssa Slotkin, 2 days, I believe, before this happened with the National Guard, she said National Guard troops are soon just going to start shooting people in the streets.
They should.
What? No, but that's what Alyssa Slotkin said 2 days before this happened. That was her statement.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later,
they incite violence all the time.
Nothing's
ever done about it.
That's my point. And nothing's done there. If a Republican said that, they would have resigned already. That happened, if what happened to those two National Guard happened after a Republican said that, they would have resigned already. Alyssa Slotkin, first of all, she did the Seditious Six PSA with Kelly, and I want to see Kelly. I want to see him hammered for what he did, and I want the military to do it to him. I want them all hammered, because you know what they were doing, Jack. This wasn't, just don't disobey unlawful orders. First of all, they already know that they don't have to follow unlawful orders. They already know that. They don't need you to go on television to tell them to not obey and tell you, go to your commanding officer. First of all, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. What they meant was, if you don't like President Trump, you don't have to follow his orders. If you disagree with President Trump, you don't have to follow these orders. They're sowing chaos. They're sowing doubt into people that we can't afford to be in chaos or have doubt ever. And that's what they did, and they need to be punished for it. Something has to happen. This can't stand. This needs to end now.
Well, what a lot of people don't know is, while they were saying that, they were actually blinking in Morse code, like John McClane, telling them to, fire on President Trump whenever they can. I'm kidding. That's just a joke. But, they could. Hell, I haven't watched the video. They might have been doing the Morse code blinking, like John McCain and the old Vietnam videos. But let me tell you that this is absolutely, and nothing happened to them. Nothing will happen to them, because Donald Trump, now he could do the military tribunals, but he won't. And the DOJ obviously won't do anything. But I'm just telling you now, and I'm warning everybody right now, we will lose massively. You think 20 Senate seats is impossible? We might lose every single election, except for ones that are so massively red that it's impossible. But I am telling you now, without justice, you will. I'm not voting. I'll put it that way.
Well, listen, I hope you'll change your mind if that, God forbid, comes to that.
There's no reason for me to vote if they don't do what I vote for them to do.
Well, listen, President Trump isn't on the ballot in this election, but he is. His presidency is on the ballot. You said it yourself.
He actually said that he might run again. And even though there's a clause in there, but there's also, I'm just telling you, there's a clause in obviously in the Constitution that says you can't run more than 2 terms, whatever. But there is also a loophole in that clause, and I'll let him reveal that at a later date.
Okay. I don't think he's running again. First of all, I just think he's going to be too old at that point. I think he's had enough. I think the energy he has now is even incredible. Now, as far as Mark Kelly, his fate's in the secretary, lies in the hands of the Secretary of the Navy at this point. Pete Hegseth put it there. And we'll know by December 10th. In the letter Pete Hegseth sent, he said to the Secretary of the Navy, I want you to do an investigation, and I want the results of the investigation by December 10th, 2025. So we'll know soon enough. Something has to happen to Mark Kelly. something, please. Again, Jack, like you said, if this was the other way around, we want justice. If this was the other way around, it wouldn't even be a question. Heads would roll already. These people would have been resigning. They would have had them up on charges. They would have been trying to throw them out of Congress. They would have been getting expelled. And here we have it again. Where is John Thune with Alyssa Slotkin? Where is he? Have you seen John Thune anywhere on this on X as you scroll, making a statement condemning at the very least Alyssa Slotkin or Mark Kelly, United States senators? I haven't. I've missed it. If it's there, somebody tell me. But this guy should be on TV every day hammering these people, and he's nowhere to be found. We know why. Because John Thune isn't an America First guy. He's not going to help President Trump if he doesn't have to. And in this case, he really doesn't have to. He could stay quiet. And that's what he's doing.
Well, let me tell you that the reason that I said that I won't vote if there's no justice, and honestly, Mark Kelly, what he did, should he be punished? Yeah, but I don't give a damn if he's punished or not, because quite honestly, that's not going to satisfy anything. I will tell you that they have not arrested anybody from the January 6th false flag operation. They have not arrested anybody from the January 6th committee. They have not arrested anybody that was in on the entire COVID thing. I'm talking all the way to Andrew Cuomo killing grandmas by forcing them into nursing homes with other COVID patients. They have not arrested anybody that forced these people on ventilators. They have not arrested anybody that went out there and said, you cannot take horse dewormer. It'll cause problems, when actually it was the cure for COVID. They have not arrested anybody that has done anything to do with the Republicans negatively in any way. There has been no arrests of any kind from any operation that has ever happened against the Republicans. Not one single arrest from anything. So I'm telling you now, you are going to be shocked by the 2026 midterms if this doesn't change, and change fast.
Listen, things have to change. I don't disagree with you, but regardless, I got to get out there and vote, because I always said this: if I don't vote, I can't complain. That's just my philosophy. That's how I look at it. That's me. That's just the way I do it. And
the problem is, if your vote no longer matters, I mean, at this point, they tell you what they want you. Look at Donald Trump in 2016. His entire freaking campaign was lock her up. Soon as he got in office, he said, I'm not locking her up.
Huge mistake.
Soon as he got, I'm not locking her up. Nope.
Huge mistake. Huge mistake.
Same thing in 2024. Same thing.
This time, though, he's not the one that's saying I'm not locking her up. He's telling everybody, lock them up. And they're not listening now.
But see, he has the power to replace them if he wants to, but he's not doing it because he doesn't actually want them to lock anybody up.
I don't know. Let's see what happens, baby. This Bailey thing. Let's see what happens.
If Bailey can get in there, and again, that's just a rumor, but it's a rumor by a trusted source. If Bailey can get in there, he would actually be the best thing that the DOJ ever had, because he was incredible fighting the Biden administration as Attorney General of Missouri. So if he can get in there, right now he's co-deputy director of the FBI along with Dan Bongino, and if he can get in as Attorney General of the United States, the top law enforcement officer in the United States, he can do something huge. Real quick before we go, though, I've got to say one thing, okay? Let me tell you something else that Democrats are doing that the Republicans would not do. Justice the way they see it. Now, you remember the corrupt judge, Boasberg, Jeb Boasberg?
Of course. James
He is
Boasberg.
the unhinged DC chief, the judge that Republicans, refused to impeach. They didn't impeach him at all. He is preparing a criminal referral against Secretary Kristi Noem for allegedly defying his oral order to return planes carrying illegal Venezuelans already out of U.S. airspace on March 15th. Let me tell you something. The Democrats are even willing to do illegal orders to get justice, but the Republicans won't even do lawful orders to get justice.
That's a huge problem. Like you said,
It's the only problem that matters right now.
He should have been impeached. And even if you weren't going to get the votes, Put the scarlet letter of impeachment on his name. Do something. Make him feel uncomfortable. Make him defend it. Make him go through a process. Something. But they are so toothless. They are weak. They are cowards. They are complicit. That's what it is too, Jack. I think a lot of them are complicit with all of this, with this running out the clock tactic.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to run out the clock on Donald Trump because they think J.D. Vance will be more apt to be controlled. Let me say, though, that all these other issues, immigration, affordability, all these things, they're big issues. But justice will be the deciding factor in the election. If we get none, we will lose by a mile. And I promise you, you book it. You make a clip of this right here. You put that shit on TikTok. I'm telling you right now, if justice has not happened, we will lose by a landslide in the House and the Senate. And people say, like PSYOP Wars, Nate, he's a big friend of the show. He said our vote does matter now more than ever. But why would your vote matter if they don't do what you vote for them to do?
All right, let me answer that. Because here's why. Even a bad Republican is better than a good Democrat at this point. That's why. Because the Democrats, the only one, Jack, that makes any kind of sense, and we've said it before in this program, and we talk all the time. The only person that makes any sense in the whole party is John Fetterman. The rest of the party is gone. It is gone. So that's why I agree with PSYOP when I said, yeah, I agree with you too. I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, I will take a bad Republican over a quote unquote good Democrat because there are no good Democrats anymore. There just aren't. They want to literally destroy the country. So at the very least, I get a bad Republican who's going to put that on pause, even though what I want them to do is sledgehammer the entire Democrat agenda. I'll take it for now. And I have to have the midterms. I have to have them because if we don't, we are done. It is over, Jack. Over.
Then we got to have justice. You want to have the midterms? We want to have justice. It's that simple.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a trade right now. You want the midterms? We want justice. We're willing to deal.
All right. Listen, I'll give you justice. Then you got to give me the midterms.
Without a doubt. If you give me justice, I will take 1,000 people with me up there to vote. All right. For Republicans.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not telling you that you're wrong to feel the way you do. I'm not. I'm just trying to look at it to say, I have to have this. I have to give this president 4 years. I have to.
I will say, and I did say this when he was elected, and I am going to tell you the truth here, okay? Just by being elected, forget everything else that he has done. Let's say he did nothing his entire 4 years. Let's say nothing happened at all. Just by being elected, he saved America. Because if Kamala Harris had been president, things would be totally different right now. So I will give you that just by being elected, he saved America.
I agree with you.
But
at the very least,
there's a big but, though. A big one. I'm talking Jennifer Lopez style butt, size butt. You know what I mean? So what's going on here is politics is the entire thing is an illusion. You want to talk about the Uniparty? Do you know who the Harlem Globetrotters are? You know that they play the Washington Generals, right?
Of course. I grew up here. I actually saw a Harlem Globetrotters game in person when I was a kid.
There you go. So have I. They're awesome. So let's do it like this. Let me put it in a way that everybody can understand. The Harlem Globetrotters play the Washington Generals every single game. The Washington Generals lose every single game because they are supposed to lose every single game. The Harlem Globetrotters win every single game because they are supposed to win every single game. The Washington Generals are the Republicans. The Democrats are the Harlem Globetrotters. And let me tell you right now, it is all an illusion. There is no choice. Now, the Republicans and the Democrats, all that is the illusion of choice. They want to make you think that you have a choice, but really whoever you vote for is going to enact the same agenda, just in different ways. The Republicans are going to enact things that you might not see as being bad right now. You might even think they're good, but then when the Democrats get in office, they have ways of turning it on its head. And that's exactly what is happening. There is no politics. There is no Republican Democrat. There is no actual choice.
Okay. Who would you say are real ones in
Real
the
what?
Republican Party? Like real ones. When
If
somebody
you
says
want the truth,
yeah, as
if
a
you
good
want the
friend, when people say you're a real one, you're actually real. You're a good. Who's the real ones in the Republican Party off the top of your head? I'm not putting you on the spot. If you
I'm
can
going
only
to tell you
think
right now. No,
Go
no, I
ahead.
can answer your question very easily.
Go ahead.
And that question is, I don't know. And you want to know why? Because people, even people like a Donald Trump, people like a Thomas Massey, these people that you think are straight up, you have no idea who they are behind closed doors. Politicians are some of the best actors in the entire world. You have no idea the backroom deals that go on in politics down in Washington, D.C. Let me tell you, there is not a single person that you can say straight up is real. You can't say that. You can look at their surface. You can look at their surface speeches. You can look at their tweets. You can even look at some of their votes. You can say, "Oh yeah, that guy's real," but you don't know that. You're just basing it off of surface interactions. Nobody knows.
I would say the closest thing to a real one, I mean, as a president that we've ever seen, is President Trump.
Well,
Just
yeah, I
because,
mean, you know,
just because of what we've seen him go through and keep coming back for more and keep fighting. He's a real one when it comes to that. But right, you said, listen, what goes on behind closed doors in Washington, D.C., I don't even think I ever want to know, because I think I
No.
probably, right?
I don't think
I mean, you think about, talk about your faith in humanity going down. I mean, to levels, unprecedented low levels. I mean, that would be it. But when I think of a Tim Burchett, I think, he's kind of like, you interviewed him on this program with James. And
do I think he's good? Yeah, I think he's good, but I don't know.
well, you never know. You never know. But as far as we can tell, our best judgment, I would say President Trump's a real one. I would say Tim Burchett is a real one. I mean, can I go down the line and give you any? Not really.
There's not a single person that you could honestly tell me you know for sure. And that's the scary part of American politics. It's theater. I want you to look at them, the Republicans, the good ones that you say. Look at them as good actors. It's theater.
Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. A lot of people thought she was, and now look on the flip, like boom, snap of a finger, she is gone.
And you know why?
Well, listen, I have my theories on. Well, she is.
It's theater.
I couldn't look at it. Jack, could you do it? Could you do it? Would you be able to live with yourself and do that and go there as one thing and then turn into something completely just the opposite? Could you live with yourself? I couldn't do it.
Okay, I want you to look at it like this. I want you to look at it like these are actors and they were hired for roles. Okay? They were hired for these roles and they are playing the role that they were hired for. That's how I want you to look at it.
But they weren't hired by us. We voted for them. Somebody else hired them. We voted for them. And that's my point. I couldn't in good conscience have myself go down, and when people went out and voted for me and then totally just flip on what I was supposed to do when I got there. I couldn't live with myself. And I don't know how these people, they're soulless, some of them, Jack. Some of them are outright soulless. And it's disturbing. And like you said, you don't know until you see the transformation happen in front of your eyes.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they all do it, and I'm not saying that. I don't like to blanket anything. And there are some that go down there with the right idea, and they, what happens to them? They get their ass kicked.
Well, let me tell you. Look at it like this. Like I said about the actors with the voting, you know what I mean? Or the actors, they're playing a part that they were hired for. Look at it like this. They are actors that were hired to play a part, and they are playing that part. And they are being paid handsomely to do so. There is not a single congressman in there that is not a millionaire right now. And most of them did not start out as millionaires. I want you to look at it like that.
Yeah, that is true. Absolutely true. But I want to trust certain ones of them. I do. And when we're talking,
you wanted to trust MTG, I'm sure.
I did.
That's why I say you don't know these people.
You don't know. You don't know. You hope, and I hope they're there with the right intentions. And I'm sure there are plenty of them that are. There are, but I think those that are kind of give up after a while. Say, I can't get it. They won't let me get it done. They won't fund me. They won't promote they won't put my bill on the floor. What am I supposed to do at this point? I'm either going to play ball and maybe try to get something done, or I'm just going to have to give up, because what they're going to do is they're going to force me to get unelected because they're going to unfund me.
And that's why there are no good ones, because the good ones do not get elected. The good ones do not get funded. You got to think about this. Corporations and even grassroots people are giving you millions of dollars for your election. They are giving away millions of dollars. Why? Why would they just give you millions of dollars? Why?
Yeah, right. Not because they like the way you look.
Yeah.
Let's put
they
it
want
that
you
way.
to be elected for one vote in Congress. I don't think so.
No. And here's the thing with President Trump, what makes him unique is that he is a privately funded billionaire. He's not a member of a public company. He is privately a billionaire. And he's the one person that could withstand that onslaught. He's the only one, not only because he's a privately funded billionaire, but because he also has the personality, the skin, the stomach to do it, which is incredible. He's a once in a lifetime figure when it comes to this.
I just wish I could be president for one day, man. One day. Give me all the presidential authority and give me 24 hours.
I'm sure we'd get a lot done.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So, before we go, it's been, 96 minutes. You got anything else you want to say real quick?
No, I'm good. We'll be back on Monday.
I know what is it? Friday. We got just a couple of days until the next show, Monday, December 1st. And thank you, PsyOp Wars. Yes, President Danger.
Wow,
that's what I like to see right there. President Danger. And I can promise you, I will not be a corrupt man.
Yeah, I can promise.
Oh man.
No, that's got a nice ring to it, Jack.
The shit I could do, let me tell you, I would, oh man, you want to see mass migration the other way? Oh my God. I would ground all flights in the country, every single plane for one day, get them all filled with illegal immigrants. They're all going out. We can get this shit done in one day.
You can make a dent. That's for sure.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. Well, anyways, make sure you go visit secretamericalive.com. It's, that's where you can see everything. You visit secretamericalive.com. You watch Secret America every Monday at 7 p.m. This is a special episode because we had a lot we wanted to say. There's going to be a lot more on Monday. You can follow me on X at Jack Danger Live. You can follow him on X at APinionsVary. That's Apinions with an A. And just make sure that you go to secretamericalive.com to watch all live and past episodes of our show. So for Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger, and we thank you for watching Secret America's special episode.
You've been listening to Secret America.